God.
So.
I found the methamphetamine.
Oh, il est mort.
Oh non.
Oh non.
Non.
Non, non, c'est juste lui qui a troll.
T'es là?
Ah, I love doing that. When they don't give me a spectator slide, I just run up and do something stupid. But anyway. What's up, guys? Liru here. Today we have another PvP operation. It is an OFCRA op, which means it's going to be a 5-minute delay. I do apologize for that. Tried to push them to not let me have it on today, but it's one of their requirements. But regardless, I'm trying to find where Blue 4 spawned here. This is going to be a Blue 4 versus Op 4, British on Op 4 versus Germans on Blue 4 on the map Roche, Germany. The background, oh, it's outside of my render range, unfortunately, is because of what happened in a previous mission on Regero between the British and the Germans. The Germans won that match. Or, no. The British won that match, excuse me. So Op 4 won that match. So the Germans stopped supplying the British with their medical Humvee vehicle, which they apparently get from Germany. So now, Hans Mancock, or whatever his name is, who's the health administrator for the UK Parliament, or government, one of the terms. No, that's a different Hans. My bad. It's because some of the players here are named Hans. But let me see if they're not listed in the groups. That's a shame. But it's all in the mission commands documentation. If you want to read it, use !mission. I'll give you the link. He is leading the British personally to go steal 7 medical vehicles. Now, these medical vehicles are... Where are they? I actually don't know where they spawn, so we're going to have to go ahead and find that. We also have a squad of Germans over here, but it looks like it's all AI, so those will be killed off later just to establish a minor blocking force. But otherwise... I think I need to do a fact check, because I'm not sure if the Germans are trying to escort the 7 couple... I'm going to call them couple wagons on accident. Because that was the Jeep from the World War II mod set that the Germans used. But no, this is a Kampfenwagen or something. But I believe the Germans have to bring them to this AO to score points per couple wagon. And the British have to escort them. Yeah, so actually here's 1, 2... Okay, so it's the British that's already stolen them. They're escorting them over. So let me make sure the mission command is reflecting that properly. So let's see. Yep, the British.
Hello.
And Germans. There we go. Now singing in the background. That's cute. There we go. All right, so I just had to fact check it because the wording was a little weird on the mission command. So basically, it's an escort mission. So every medical vehicle is worth a single point, and then there is the Supremacy Bonus in play, which is if the Germans on Blue 4 eliminate all but 5 of the British Op 4 players or less, then the Germans score 2 points. If the British are able to eliminate all but 5 or less of the German players, then the British side scores 5 points.
Are you,
So 9 points total on the field, but the main focus is going to be on the medical vehicles here. But there's a little bit of wiggle room in case one side gets absolutely stomped. So mainly play the objective, but a little bit of a focus on the PvP element as well. So, otherwise, let's look at the assets that both sides here. The British for Op 4 have 2 GPMG... I think these are MRAPs, actually, the way they're armored and the way they're upscaled like that. But I doubt the Germans will be using any explosives. But it looks like the British also get a RRR vehicle to repair any of the medical Vics that get damaged. And they also have
Yeah.
a Chinook here with twin M134s, one on each side for escort, and they do have a holographic scope on the top. That's nice. British are
I don't have fucking white spray. What the fuck is this?
gonna mainly be using the L85, that crazy weapon, and also it looks like they all get magnified optics.
Oh.
Fils de pute.
Une minute, direction l'hélicoptère.
Saying 1 minute till it starts. So we got PCMLs, which are single shot launchers, some GLs, some mini-me's, which is a 5.56 machine gun. And I'll be curious to see if there's any weapon squads out there that also have something. Oh, great. Why is OBS throttling all of the... Jesus. Okay, there we go. Good God. So sorry about that. With OBS on the bottom right, you can see how it's uploading, and for whatever reason, OBS just completely disconnected me from Twitch for a second and reconnected me, but now it's fine. It just added 11 seconds to the delay, so we're good. So that was just, I guess, an issue of connecting to the Twitch server and going back. So I apologize for that. Otherwise, round has started. Units are still loading in here. The Germans, I would assume, are going to be fielding G36Ks, some MG3s, or we might even see some MG4s or 5s. We'll have to see specifically. But usually they use the MG3 for the Budweiser, however you pronounce. I probably just butchered that term. But otherwise, Blue 4 for the Germans gets a little bird with a camera. They also have a RRR vehicle, which they're not going to field. And we've got some of their own MRAPs as well. And some transport Vics that they're bringing around. So basically, we're just going to see OPFOR drive up the objective vehicles to the purple zone, and the blue force here is going to try to intercept them. So the heli route's in blue because I died on the OPFOR side because we didn't have spectator slots. So it's going to immediately go for a paradrop at the turn-in point. And I love how we're going to a giant British flag to the north. And then everything else is going to be driven here. So what I'm confused about is I'm only seeing 3 of those Vics being driven, and here come the other 4. So they're doing a 2-pronged escort here. The first half is escorted. The second half is left to drive on its own. And Blue 4 looks like some of them are getting lost or recalibrated in their directions. These red lines are drawn by the OPFOR force, by the way. It's not Blue 4's markings. It's just a guess to see where they're going to drive from. And they've also marked that there is an enemy squad right here. So that's a diversionary attack, but I don't think they know that those are just AI right now and were deleted. So we might see that diversionary attack continue, but that's just going to buy Blue 4 more time to redeploy. We'll probably see the intercept points up towards the north. But this is going to be a tough call here. I think OPFOR has all of the time in the world to just directly drive up if they use their aircraft for recon, but instead they're using it to quickly deploy a force up to the capture zone. KRANKENWAGEN, that's what they're called. Alright. So I kept saying Kubbelwagen earlier. It's similar in design there. Ah, me and my foreign languages. Well, I mean, you guys would know I butchered French for Czech last week, and I was convinced it was French. Liru's not the language expert here, but I could see that Chinook dropping off its force there by a paradrop and then coming back and doing recon for these groups. Now, what I gotta wonder here is, are these guys gonna dismount here and start pushing up on foot? Or is that the LZ they're gonna push into? Because if they do that, they're gonna quickly realize there's no one there. It looks like Blue 4, even the little bird, it's only halfway to where it needs to be. But here, let's go ahead and watch this lay low paradrop insert. That's going to be pretty dope. So So yeah, it's funny. When you die as a player and get into a spectator menu, your keybinds are completely different. You don't get tracer features. So everything is a little tougher to utilize. But there's everyone para-dropping. A lot of people dropped early on. But I don't think anyone armored themselves because I'm not seeing anyone go down to Pancake. We got a bunch of chutes that opened. Alright, there we go. Now, this is the render distance that they all get, by the way, so we're going to be able to see the maximum range of all viewership compared to a spectator slot, which usually gets a higher viewership in terms of its range. So, I'm seeing someone doing a cripple walk, but I'm not sure if that's because his backpack's on his chest. It's because his backpack's on his chest. So they gotta basically drop the parachutes, put their backpack that they put on their chest back on their back, and they'll be able to redeploy. So, no easy kills there. Not seeing any skulls except mine. That should be a-okay, but let's actually look at the capture zone itself. It's actually right here. So I think they're meant to bring it right here, but this is an AO that can be openly attacked and defended. I could see them storing the vehicles in these 3 buildings, though, for protection. Now we're going to see the Chinook and the Little Bird get close together here. I wonder if the Chinook's going to try to hunt the Little Bird down. I hear the Little Bird giving some small arms fire. But that Chinook should be a sign that OPFOR has already gotten to the capture zone because it has a more powerful engine. But now is the Chinook going to follow the Little Bird and try to spray it down with its 134? So you got PHK flying. Does he have a gunner, though? I don't believe he does, so all he's going to be able to do is lightly harass. That Little Bird has no guns, but it does have people on the side that could fire back. What op was wait a sec, you're not? That was a VOD for the second SCP Chernar's 2020 op. I believe the VOD actually did get uploaded, I just couldn't find it. But I don't know, because I looked through my VOD channel, I couldn't find it, but I know that part of it wasn't in the actual upload on the main channel, if I've even uploaded it yet, because I cropped at the beginning out. Otherwise, that Chinook did see this position deploy. It looks like he marked it with a big X, and now you got a Blue 4 group coming up here, but OPFOR is completely pulling out of this AO, I think in favor of defending the MSRs. So now is the Chinook circling, or is it going to try to follow that Little Bird? It looks like it's circling the LZ instead. And you have a force that's deployed right here for a diversionary attack, but there's nothing there. We have a dead AI. Don't know what that was about. But otherwise, Blue 4, they're getting a lot of their forces up. They might be able to attack the defensive position and take it before the convoy gets in, thereby dividing OPFOR's force here and potentially line up for a good defeat and detail play, because OPFOR is playing a little too much security on this diversionary attack without having done the proper air recon to go cover it, because air wanted to get up to that site and do a paratrop immediately on the objective. Yeah, I even asked them today, and I'm like, hey, do I still have to do the 5-minute? And they told me yes. So, it's the only stream I do that has a 5-minute delay. And if I get offered other stream opportunities, but it's on a 5-minute delay, I'm gonna pass. Because it's just a nasty disconnect. Yeah, so I think Air's going to give up on looking at that. Air should either start reconning out the potential routes that they've marked for Blue 4 to come in, or come back and look at that diversionary attack to see if there's anything actually down there. Here's one of the weaknesses I've seen within OFCRA. with the commanders on both sides, which, by the way, it's Jonathan commanding Blue 4, and I believe NASA and Goatland commanding Op 4. So it actually might be Pogo and Dark Neo. But it's hard to tell there. You can actually find it on the mission command. It gives you a breakdown of who's in what slot, but there's a lot of bets on assumptions. Either side will assume the other side is going to do something, and it's like a 50-50 in OFCRA. Actually, I would lean 2/3 out, 2 out of the 3 times they're usually right about their assumptions. In that they're able to properly predict what the enemy commander does, even though you have these massive AO, so it shows the skill that the commanders in OFCRA have when fighting each other. The issue is, in that 1 out of 3 times when they're wrong, then they're pretty much completely out of position. And this is looking like it's going to favor Blue 4 a lot, because Blue 4 is going to be able to get their majority of their force up here, take this position, and then set up a defense for the remaining escorting units. But the PvP is going to really fall on the northern side of if these 2 Op 4 squads can hold. They're not even squads. They're barely above fire. Well, no, actually, there's a big chunk down there. There's there's about 2 squads worth down there. Can they hold against what's forming around them? And are these guys going to maneuver in here, or are they going to deploy way too far out and wait for their little bird to do recon? Speaking of, where is the little bird? It's flying all the way back to base, because I think it's going to try to go pick up Dark Neo, or it's going to respec and do something else. But that little bird, especially with that camera, should be prioritizing doing recon. So, I don't know. I feel like the helicopters are achieving some of their roles here, but they could be optimized a little bit better. But it is really hard to properly optimize an air asset. Plus, you know, sending it to do a recon duty, you really have to micro its route, because otherwise the pilot will just pick something and say, yeah, it's clear, but you got to coordinate what's clear and what isn't. But I would say especially that little bird with that camera, and if that camera does have its thermal optics, but even if it doesn't, having a co-pilot dedicated just watching on it, that would be a good call. I'm a little confused here what this driver is doing. Sixor, I think, got lost for a second, went down the wrong MSR. I thought he was going to drive right into enemies down here.
Ambulance spotted around on the road. Do we engage?
Yeah, so I think he might have actually seen these guys and turned around. Because now you got this German squad asking if they're clear to engage the ambulances if they come by.
The ambulance.
They've all got little garbage ties on them, I guess, for PvP. But for proper PID as well. So I don't think they see these passing by, but that's the second half of the ambulances going. And you got the Chinook doing a local escort for them, being a little bit ahead. That's actually a very smart play to do, because it'll be able to watch for any ambushes that try to come in the middle of this convoy. So we have 1, 2... Yep, all 7 Vics are going to be brought into this zone, so it's going to turn into a defensive objective. Honestly, I think the German spawn point was a little too far for the Germans to actually set anything up proper. So we've got a British force out of position here looking for a squad that doesn't exist, technically. So I think Air's going to have to go back and pick them up, because we got another force back here driving in with the... So that's with the Logi Vic, just in case any of the Vics take damage. I think they're going to run into this Vic, though, because they're going to pull up to the MSR and move in. But the Germans have deployed way too far, so this is just going to turn into an attack-defend. And when you have one of those, the defender just has a natural advantage, especially with a giant 134 boat. Let me rephrase that. A Chinook with 2 M134s on the side that can provide local fire support, but I don't think they're going to actually use that. But I do see Goatland and PHK in this vehicle when I look. So let me try to quickly look in, because I would hope that means that, they have someone on one of the guns. Let's try his first-person POV. Nope, so they're both in the pilot and co-pilot seats, but they can, in a pinch, change and get on the guns. Alright, so they just spotted this Vic and just called that it was on the road, so now this Vic is actually diverting off the road to avoid it. Now we're seeing, this is what I'm talking about with air recon. It is a very powerful asset if you utilize it. So despite them being in a freaking Chinook, they're still able to spot this stuff, and that just saved that one Vic, because had it not been for that Chinook, it would have driven right into that team and probably been picked off. I'm just curious how this group right here is going to be redeployed, if they're going to take the Vic or if the Chinook's going to come land and pick them up, because at this point, since this is going to turn into a defensive mission, I would say bring the Chinook over, pick him up, and then fly him off the side of the map. I'm not sure if flying off the map is illegal, but, you know, just hug this area right here and deploy, you know? But Hillcat, thanks for the 3-month resub, my man. I hope you keep enjoying the operations. Actually, 6 months. Sorry, I always get confused when I see the 3-month streak and the 6-month sub. But regardless, thanks for the 6-month resub, my man. I hope you keep enjoying the operations, and I hope you get a nice kick out of this PvP match.
Ah bah je suis en train d'aider aussi.
Non mais aide-nous, aide-nous. Non mais c'est bien, parce que là ça met 30 points. Ah bah putain merde, j'ai annulé. Je vais le totem.
Hey, righto, Radjack. The Isle of Duala incident was really fun to make. Literally, we built that campaign off of a factor of we just wanted to make one other YouTuber scream. And we got it round 3, even though it wasn't technically a scream, it was him yelling and screaming over something, but hey, a scream's a scream. So we got one group down here setting up a defensive objective, which has only formed a bit of a fire team. They're marking that up, and we got 2 guys on the side with a marksman rifle. And a bit of AT.
Ah, ça je sais pas.
Covering that open area. That's a good call. And then the rest of them have pulled back to hold this position because all of the Vics have gotten in here. So where have they put them?
Yes, I don't know, is that friendly or enemy?
No, they've had to have put them over here. Yeah, I can see them from the rooftops. Yeah, so they packed these buildings. One of them's packed, one of them has one, another one has a single one. Otherwise, they're calling out infantry. Okay, so they spotted this group of infantry. Probably because of that trench, in all honesty. People don't realize it in PvP, but trenches, even if they're the proper type of color, they instantly give you away because everyone plays with trenches these days, you know? PvE or PvP community. So everyone, if they see that certain shape appear, then they're going to know instantly there's players there. Because, hey, if their team didn't put the trench down, who did? So you got the Chinook doing some more orbitals here. You have this force remounting these 2 Vics. They're going to drive it. Okay. So I wonder what route they're going to take. Probably something outside of the AOs because they're cut off at this point. You also have Jonathan here. I think he's just chilling at the moment. Yeah, he took a Vic over here, I guess, to do recon. He's one of the commander units here, actually. Possibly GC for... Gotcha, never mind. He's the German, because I saw the G36 and I was confused for a second. He's German GC, and he's in the back line coordinating these units. Meanwhile, you have the R vehicle for the British coming around trying to take a far angle here to come in, but he's going to end up driving into another team of Blue 4. So we'll see if Blue 4 is able to catch him, but Blue 4 is not going to know he's coming, so it's going to be a very brief window for him to do stuff. Oh, he spotted that German group too, probably by the vehicles. So either PHK or Gotland just said they saw the vehicles, but they just saw the infantry close by it. So honestly, the British are doing a very good job of reconning out this AO and seeing where the German forces are coming in. They've identified where 2 of them are. They haven't found the 3rd one yet, which is the closest one. That's a little worrisome. There's a lot of open field, but a big blind spot where the British aren't watching. This force could get close enough to potentially attack this AO, but based off of how well the British have done so far, I think they're at a better angle here. Minus the fact that you have... Why is it not letting me right-click to move my camera? Come on. There we go. Minus the fact you have this side group out of the position here. And it looks like they're taking the wheels off because they hit the Vic. So I think this means that they are going to get an air evac after all. That or they're just completely changing out the wheels. But it's not going to matter because I think they rammed into each other. Especially with the blood. There's 2 broken wheels. Yeah, that thing's not going anywhere, so this is going to force them to have to get an air evac. So that's going to push the British a little behind in their coordination. Meanwhile, you're having the Little Bird and the Chinook duke it out. The British forces are now firing. I can't tell if they're firing at the... Okay, so some of them are firing at the German forces all the way over here. And these guys are pulling back, but they're also firing at the Little Bird. Surprised the co-pilot hasn't gotten to the 134 and started laying heat down, but I think they're holding all the ammo in reserve for the moment. But the British are a little outnumbered now. They have better intel. We'll see how they can capitalize on it. What mod's being used for the Germans? The BUD was, just look up German BUD Arma 3 Steam Workshop and it'll come up. BUDW something something. I can't even attempt to pronounce it because I know everyone's going to make fun of me. Ooh, all right, this is what I want to watch. How is the rear security? By the way, any side is allowed to steal any vehicle from the opponent. See, this guy, he's looking on the rear, but he's not watching the MSR. He has the proper weapon to take that vehicle out, but I don't think he's going to be able to adjust in time. So this is going to be the final piece of recon that the British need. We'll see if the driver's paying attention.
Yeah, okay.
So he didn't notice on his left side, but this Vic is surely going to notice. Yep, so the gun's firing at him. He's saying, oh shit, because the gunner's shooting at him. His buddy's comms are pretty messy. But now the British know where the German forces are going to be attacking from. They might think there's another attack wave or 2, but they've identified 3 positions. That's pretty good to bank on. Just, again, how are these guys gonna... Oh my god, because they rammed each other. So they tried putting 1 wheel on each axle. There's just 1 guy driving because everyone else needs to get up there. I mean, it kind of works. It's janky as fuck, but it works. He's not going to be able to get a lot of speed. He is, he's been promoted to bicycle. He's getting some good speed here. Oh my god, that's hilarious. So we got that last group coming in. They've driven a line, and that's actually going to lead them right to where Jonathan's parked. I doubt they're going to find him, but that's kind of interesting how out of the entire map they're going to run into each other, but probably not see each other. So now, at this point, we're going to wait for the German attack. And it looks like the British are preemptively planning because of that recon. They're assuming Blue 4 is going to attack this way, so they're actually taking a force and setting up a defensive line over here. That's very smart. The issue is they also know that this force is over here, and they now know that there's going to be a blind spot right here. So how are the British going to defend against this Western attack? And when are we going to see that 134 start laying in pain? Now, I don't think they've reconned and seen this position here, but they are digging trenches, so I'd assume that Chinook is eventually going to find it. But now it's just a wait game. You gotta remember, these rounds are about an hour and a half long, so the British can just sit back and relax, and the Germans have to do a little bit of maneuvering here, but they're gonna eventually have to decide on a game plan. Be it they send one squad in one way to test the waters, or they just push everything in at once. I think the Germans should use their little bird, try to get some recon on where specifically the British are, and then push forces in accordingly to where the British are not defending, and attempt to pull forces away from certain defensive positions to then push other German forces into the AO. But it's going to be all about that recon with that little bird, and it's all the way back here. It's going to be a tough call either way. I just saw a marksman fire a shot. Yeah, he sees that one Vic over there, so that's the 4th position. Yep, he's calling the movement out. He's looking down in that direction, so yep. You can say that the British know where all of the German positions are. So the Germans just need to do the same thing, recon out where the British defensive lines are, and then just get them to, how would you put it? Release a lot of their defensive units. Yep, so they just drove right by Jonathan's position. That's pretty funny. Looks like Skipu gave up and he's just walking instead. But the Germans just need to basically go behind where the British have set up defensive lines to force them to pull back, and then just hit this one position from multiple sides and try to surround it. There's no tracer mod because I had to take a player spot and respawn. There was no dedicated spectator slot. And you only get the tracer script when you take a dedicated spectator slot. So again, I would say take this route, but get them to know that they're coming that way so they pull away, and then you can push your forces here in. This force is going to run into this resistance and pull, keep them there, actually. Keep them pinned. Because that means less forces defending this AO, and then have this larger force break through and take that position. So if I was the Germans, I'd be maneuvering this side force and maneuvering that side force, but only after I reconned out things with that little bird. Because if that little bird gets lost, you're kind of SOL. You have some ground fire going in on that little bird. Technically, any one shot could be the lucky shot to get a headshot on the little bird and knock that asset out. Same goes for the Chinook, though, but it does have a co-pilot just in case. Bundeswehr, that's it. Probably butchered the pronunciation of that one, too. Ha! But the aircraft both have to follow through with their recon duties here. Otherwise, the side that has the better intel is going to win. See, it's funny because there's no way for the Little Bird to engage the Chinook, but I think the Little Bird's figured out by now that the Chinook doesn't have any of its 134s crewed. So now you're seeing the Little Bird play chicken with the Chinook, but the Chinook's just flying large orbitals doing recon as the Little Bird harasses. What's going to be funny here is I see this black line move right past this force. They know about the vehicle dismounts, but I don't know where they're going to dismount there, if they're going to keep driving or what. I don't know. If I was the British, I'd be trying to focus on taking out the little bird. Which would just mean I have one of the co-pilots switch to one of the 134s and go to town. If it needs to land, then let it land for a second. Just in the back corner where there's clearly no German force. Or if it really wants to, just fly out 5 clicks and do it there. Oh, no. Hey, Red Eye, thanks for the host, man. Appreciate it. What were you doing, man? It'll take 5 minutes to get to you, though. So these guys have dismounted. We're hearing some more small arm shots. I don't know to where, though. Looks like it's the marksman firing at that Vic. I mean, we'll know if someone dies because we'll hear them in this chat immediately because we're in the TFAR channel. But I'm going to go ahead and mute myself because we're going to hear people get killed in this firefight. Oh, I think Shadow just got spotted through the bush. Yep, taken out by Dominic. The rest of these 6 EME guys are going to turn around and wonder what that was because one of their guys just got killed. Oh, please tell me. He's on the top of the roster, which makes me think he might be the squad leader. Please tell me I'm mistaken. He does have a grenadier weapon, so... Oh, that might be the case. His back is in the ground, so I can't tell if he has the radio, though. Why would the squad leader turn around and go check that out? That's like the worst person to send. Because the squad leader is the lifeline to all of the other groups. Okay, so it looks like we have a little radio antenna on Clement here. I think that's the same backpack. So possibly a squad lead and a team lead both have the long-range radio. So they're not completely cut off yet. But Clement is now mobilizing this force to potentially come back and hit these guys. But these guys instead have pulled back to the German... Wait. No, these are the British fix. Are they? Hold up. Wait a minute. No, so those are the German Vics, but the... okay. I see. I was confused for a second, but it turns out the tan ones are the German Vics. Okay. A-okay. And yes, Mod, I do need to hydrate. I'm losing my marbles. Yeah, so they've taken the defensive line back here, and now we have a strike team poised to potentially attack some of the assaulting German forces. You're hearing some light arms fire. Is there someone... This will take me a hot second. So, who's flying? Oh, there's a... Wait. Huh, okay, I clicked right over him. So yeah, they've got a gunner on the side with a GL as Pogo flies. That's pretty funny. So I think they're scanning for that group. I mean, if they get a flyby GL and it hits well and British are grouped up, that could do a lot of damage. But it looks like they're going to steal the Vics. Some are hiding in some of the Vics, too. Wonder if anyone's going to go back and grab Skipu, because otherwise, by the time he gets into the AO, I think it's going to be over. Yep, so they're deciding to steal a Vic. So basically, they're going to get a free kill and just drive away. Kill the squad leader, drive off. Yep, sounds insurrectionist enough. So it looks like this force has actually repositioned and it's pulling away, and this British force is also going to go on the offensive here and try to sweep for that German force. I think the German force didn't decide to go up this route because they either spotted the British moving there or they got made early and they took some shots from a few of these guys, and they decided that route might have been compromised and the British would set up a defensive line to counter. But right now, as it stands, the point values, if this match were to end right now, would be 7-0 to the British because they have all 7 Vics in the capture zone. So the Germans are going to have to get in there and do some demo. I love how they're marked as Germans. It's because it's an enemy Vic. But no one died in it, so I don't get why it's still blue. Otherwise, you're having a German force here push up. Are they going to come to the edge of this? I mean, this is assaulting a strong point that the British have. But I think they're relying on this bit of forestry here to help conceal the line. But this is all open terrain. It's a very risky play to make. You generally want to use your vehicle to cross it quickly, but only after you make the British forces fold away. And yes, bro speak is on a temporary hiatus until I move in, guys. Just giving myself a little break for it. And the posture check is just to remind me to make sure I'm sitting properly in this chair, because I am starting to develop a bit of a humpback, unfortunately. So in a month or two, I'll go check a chiropractor and get it fixed. I've been doing this for 5 years, so it happens. Bundeswehr. Is that how you pronounce it? Bundeswehr? Yeah, I would have never pronounced that correctly in a million fucking years. So I think the little bird's just distracted with harassing the Chinook at this point. And these guys have completely, they've drawn a new line. They're rerouting to this MSR, I guess, to either push into friendly territory or potentially dismount here and harass this group as well. Yeah, as I suspected, that is a 7.62. So this is actually a mirror match with the vehicles. They're using 3CB Vics as well. They're trying to use the 7.62 gun to take out the Chinook. But I think we're just hearing the Doppler effect right now, because that Chinook is still A-okay. It's really hard to hit a Chinook flying at speed, because it's just hard to predict those bullet trajectories in the top of your head. See, again, if the little bird was armed, this would be cool, but I think they're trying to... Oh, they're trying to get the GL lined up to hit the Chinook. That's what they've been doing. They're fucking crazy. Because that thing is always going to go much faster. I don't know anymore. Yeah, bro speak's gonna be delayed by 5 minutes anyway. I think the British are a little overconfident though, because dedicating this many forces to a counterattack can cut both ways. Because if they run into one group of Germans, there's another group of Germans close by, they can then route that German group to flank the counterattacking force and wipe it, essentially, if they're quick enough. Because I think comms on both sides have looked pretty decent here. There's a lot of smokes being fired into this section from these guys. Kinda confused what that's for. Like, are they trying to smoke it to advance? Yep, they're smoking it to make that Vic advance right onto that line. They're probably going to deploy them on that corner. And this British line is too busy focusing on this group over here to the west that's harassing them lightly. It's a feint. And the British are going to play right into it. Gunfire in the distance. Ooh, what's that? That's useful. Someone even, is this a used AT stick? You can't tell with the texture. They might have left it there, like, just in case there was a Vic charging up the road, in which case that's a horrible place to leave it. Yep, so Jig is up. They're turning around. There's only a few guys to turn around. Ooh, this is a nice firing position. Can he line up a shot, though? And then Cheeseburger giving moral support from his underwear. Ooh, someone just got shot dead. Jonathan getting sprayed through the wooden fence. Germans have a foothold now because they baited out the first British defensive line. And now the British have a lot of forces out of position here. We're going to see another PvP fight in that forest, though. But this is how the Germans are going to get their foot in, but the marksman from up high is actually getting a lot of good leg shots in and crippling a lot of the German forces. Will we start seeing that 134 open up, though? Because that would be a really good orbital angle to spray down this position. Now, I think they're hoping they pull all the British to then charge that other Vic in. And then basically sandwich this British defensive line. I forgot the bets again. God damn it, you're right, Modedic. Sorry. Guys, I've been so busy with the house move that's this Saturday. I've been forgetting so much, so thanks for bearing with me on that regard, but wow, Cheeseburger just turned this poor bastard into cheeseburger meat. Hot damn. Sonkai trying to fire from across the way with his mini-me here. Oh, Cheeseburger just got headshotted. Possibly by Loan. And that machine gunner is taken out. Or it might have been Cooper. Nope, Cooper's not on any kills. Hans Golden is on a kill. I'm not sure if the Hans from last week that got, like, all of the kills on the German side is here. But this British force is definitely in trouble. I'm surprised we're not seeing this force come into sandwich from the other side. Meanwhile, I want to quickly check on this forested group. Looks like they have spotted each other. Hearing some grenades getting fired off on either side. That's a very interesting position to fight from. We've got 7 forces here. And they're going to take on... It's a mirror match, 7v7. That's so far from the AO. It's interesting that we have a firefight all the way down there. Martin here, pinned down on the first story. Generally in PvP, you don't want to be where a dead body is in a firefight that's actively going on, because that means that's where he got killed. So you're going to make the same mistake that guy potentially did and get your head picked off. But it looks like they did kill one of the guys up here, and it was the marksman. Bundeswehr. I'm never going to remember that, though. Ooh. If Loan kept that Overwatch for a second more, he would have seen Jonathan go up, and that would have been an easy kill, because everyone does have ACOGs. I love how both of the helicopters are reconning this position out, too. Hold on. The Little Bird's going to pick him up. If the Chinook realizes and gets the 134 ready, it could end this. But I'm not sure if they're going to do it. Come on, Gotland, you got to switch to gunner here. You see that smoke getting kicked up. You know. You know what that means. I want to see one of them switch that 134 and utilize it. Because if they don't, that means that the 134s don't have any ammo, because that's the only explanation. Because this would be an easy picking for a 134. Please get on that gun. Yeah, they see him, plain as day. Golan just has to get on that gun. Literally get up and go to the gun. I want to see it. They left Dark Neo behind. And he's now firing at the Chinook. So this is going to mean that this British force is completely out of position, and these guys can pull back and redeploy in the back line of the British and help encircle this AO. Meanwhile, this truck is pulled in. We might actually see the Germans speed ahead of the British forces and still clutch this AO, because there's a lot less resistance now, because one squad is pulled all the way out, and another squad is redeployed too far on the rear. And we still have this German force that could take one of the Vics and just drive right in. The Germans are in a really good position now, as long as they redeploy. So where is the Little Bird gonna land them? He's got the Chinook on his ass. Dark Neo stayed behind to spray at that Chinook just to see if he could get a shot. But I'm gonna claim the guns are out of ammo or just not usable, because there's been way too many opportunities for those 134s to do some serious damage. Oh my god, and they've got people on the tails of those guns firing back. That is honestly beautiful. That is honestly amazing. So these guys have essentially completely outmaneuvered, and they're going to attack the AO from the flank that the British aren't ready for. They've got recon on it, but that's it. So Dark Neo, I mean, he's getting encompassed right now. He's hiding in a bush. That's hilarious. Oh, and he has the LR too. That's funny. You gotta remember, OFCRA, I don't believe, are allowed to steal radios. And the Little Bird's now coming back to potentially pick them up. Could be ambushed by that squad, though. But at this point, I don't think the Little Bird's gonna be needed anymore, because the Germans have such a great deployment here. Right next to this objective, I think they could easily just push right in and take it. Up here is a really bad position, no offense, because everyone has ACOGs. You can easily get sniped. I get it, it gives you really good vantage point to see everything, but I don't think it's worth it being on the rooftops because there's no cover. This one I'm a little more favorable of because you can pull back a little bit and you got a little bit of defilade, but this position right here is just way too open. He did just get a pick off, though. Ooh. Yeah, that's what I figured. Little Bird landed trying to pick him up, and honestly, that 1-4's heard that LZ and took him out. Getting some double taps on the bodies. That was silly. They knew they were being pursued by a British force, and they still chose that LZ anyway. It was a very bad call to make, in my opinion. But now we need to see... I think the Germans are trying to pull everything they can so this force can come around. The British are sending 2 guys on rear security here, but if these guys can get in, and if they take out the group of 5 Vics that are in here with 1 charge and it causes a massive chain of cook-off, it's GG at that point. Because even though there's 2 remaining in that AO, and let's say the German forces get wiped, it would still be 5 destructions for 5 points, and then 2 saved. With the 2 points for the Supremacy Bonus, it would be 5-4 German victory. Or what they could do is they could just drive the Vics outside of the AO and also demo them, but that would require them to completely take control of this AO. So now what this Vic needs to do is start landing on the outskirts and picking up the other group, because going on foot is going to take too much time, I think. But we still have a German group back here on Vanguard duty. It should be pushing in to assist at this point. And this group of 4 might try to counter that group of 4 on the side. But we also have this force on foot coming back. Tough call. Frisco, I do read my own chat, and I do answer my own chat. It's just I'm also, it's a 5-minute delay, so it's going to take 5 minutes for me to get back to you, buddy. Also, I know the font color needs to be changed. I have to redo that entire module. Just I haven't gotten around to it yet. It's on the list. The list of things I've been saying to do for years, but we've literally had something come up every single time. I don't know. OFCRA has the high ground here. They're being very defensive about it. Oh, switching to a GL. I think he under-slun it there. Yeah, did you see his GL on the floor right there? He was getting hitboxed by the floor, which is why none of his shots were landing, but that also saved him. Ah, I love hitboxes in this game. Yep, so now Jonathan's doing a retaliation spray right there. Smoke being popped out. Still 4 guys up here to 4 guys up there. But this force is now running on foot. I think this group is screwed. AT coming in on the Vic. Gets damaged. The Germans had the upper hand, but they're losing it because they're not maneuvering. 6 EME is probably going to get behind this force and come in, but it's going to be too late at that point. Vlad here is pulled back, took some shots. So this force doesn't like that line. They're going to hug a bit more. But that's eating up time for the British to reposition, and that's time that the Germans cannot afford to give the British right now. McLean trying to get some sprays here, but there are a few angles that OFCRA is utilizing to keep them pinned. Sixme trying his best to line up a shot here, but he's unable to make contact. Actually, he might have knocked Jonathan out. Cooper also attempting to get some hits here. McLean is down. AT hurt. Going on the MRAP again, it also tanks it. Those MRAPs will take a few AT rockets to actually get hit here. And you got this blue 4 force coming around to flank that group of OFCRA, but this group of OFCRA coming in the open, trailed on by that smoke. But 6 EME have now made a dash for it. They could potentially get to the rear of those British guys in time. And BCB, I am doing well. Hope you are doing well as well. So that 4-man team is not doing well because 2 of them are down. Ezio pushing up on his own. The really important thing here is the maneuvers that are being done by this group. They're stalling. They need to just pick an angle and push it, but they're too fearful of the British having a good line here, which I can understand because you would think that the British would know because the Little Bird was seen landing here by the Chinook and that information was rallied. So you would think the British would act upon it, but I think the British know that they're very limited on manpower right now, so they're just gonna make the Germans think that they know and have redeployed. But I think this is gonna be the firefight that makes or breaks it, but these guys are being very quick to come up and counter. I think they just fire at the... Take the shot. Let's go. I believe in you. I believe in you, sir. Come on. Ooh, machine gun. Starts going down the street. Still okay. Juno knocked out, his battle buddy killed. Spray through the wooden fence. And the 6 EME guys have stopped short. Nope, I think the Germans are screwed here. You don't need cover if you kill them before they kill you. Yeah, very true. But with Arma 3's latency, I don't know about that. Better to be safe than sorry, I always say. Timec trying to come around, might catch some force out of position, but 6 EME starts engaging him. He's going to be forced to pull away from there. Triple timing it. As Roland also crosses. This is only going to further entrench OFCRA, but at least deny them from being on the outskirts and on the rooftops. But is it going to be enough help to assist the Germans already in the town? Chinook, I thought it was coming in for a landing, but no. And you got Skipu here. He's in the final 2 kilometers of the run. Vex spraying back. Did he just get a kill? Nope, none of them are dead except for the one we saw get intercepted earlier. So he got a kill from, I think, spraying down these 2 guys, Juno and the other unknown. I don't know. I think that force is screwed. This force is taking too long, and you're going to have these guys follow through. And we do see all of the British forces, OFCRA's markings here. So we do know they are starting to come around and counter. The Germans are playing it too safe, and we got 25 minutes remaining. Unless we see some significant PvP changes, I think we're done. Well, no, I want to update the chat bot because it's actually an imported feature from Streamlabs. And to make it work on Stream Elements was really weird because chat boxes for Stream Elements weren't a thing until they updated, but yeah. Again, a lot of upgrades I have to do, and I'm working on them in various different ways. It's just trying to do the smaller ones right now because the move is, it's been taking a lot of my time. But it'll be hopefully settled by Saturday. These guys are advancing even more. Giving away their position by firing at the Chinook. But now they're going to be able to move into this forested area on the side, but the British squad here is hot on their tail. I don't know. I think it's over at this point. Again, it's going to depend on the PvP fight here, but it's going to be a 7v7, actually 7v6 now. Because they left one guy. Wait, there's a 7th. Okay, so I think there was a guy on the Little Bird that got off to make it 7v7 again. So 7v7 here, but there's also a few guys turning around. And this force could also turn around immediately. You also see Sky Online looking back. And this force could then pull back as well. Because there's only a handful of Blue 4 left here. Jesus, I didn't even notice that. There's only one Blue 4 guy left out of this whole squad. All wiped. So that group, all wiped, too. Jesus. This group, nearly all wiped. Looks like they were killed right here as the British force pulled around, and this is not what you want to be seeing if you are on the Blue 4 German side. I think you're hearing double taps at this point.
Yes. The poison for KUSCO.
For Cusco. Why did it spell out Cusco's name, but then it said Cusco's poison? What? This fucking audio bot, I swear to God. Bearded Lord, thanks for the 41-month resub. I hope you keep enjoying the operations, and I hope you get a kick out of this scenario. Alright, well, he just got a kill. No, it was only a knockout. Throwing some smoke grenades now. He missed that smoke, and I think he just got knocked out right there. Yep. Vex me on his 3rd kill. I'm surprised he didn't see, like, fire when they were crossing right here. He had really good opportunity there, but he just let it go. And that's all Blue 4 wiped on the Western attack, minus the 6 EME guys, but they're only down to 4 people. Wow, they had a few of their guys get picked off in a long-range firefight. So it's just up to this group now, but again, they've got the British hot on their tail. I think this is it. The British have just been better with their reconning of positions. They've been better on their tempo. I mean, this group, how do I put it? If you literally get a heli evac and you're pulled a click and a half away, and you have a click and a half away advantage, and you only maneuver about 2/3 of a click, and the other group is able to not only push to your previous LZ, kill your aircraft, and then come back up and catch up with you. I don't mean to sound like an ass, but I think you're doing something wrong in terms of your maneuver speed. I get being cautious, but holy fuck. If you get caught up on at that point, I don't know what to say. And it's that extra layer of caution that's going to get these guys screwed. Even if they win this firefight and they kill everyone, they're still going to take a handful of casualties. And then this force is just going to turn around and counterattack. Because the other force has been completely wiped. So it's just been a matter of the Germans have defeated themselves in detail here by sending too many forces individually into an AO. And don't get me wrong, there were some good supporting elements here and there, but it wasn't enough. Because this AO, for example, was really well done. This group went in after this group supported, but they needed to be ready to immediately push in after these guys got their foot in the door. Had this force pushed in earlier and assisted this force in wiping this group, this other OP4 force that was all the way over here that had to remaneuver wouldn't have caught up to them in time, and then they could have pushed this position and hurried this force to redeploy quicker and go into this AO, and they could have pincered the last AO and been quick and dirty about it. In all honesty, would have gotten it, but it's over at this point. They've even landed, British have landed the Chinook. They know they've pretty much won it. Now, we have the British being a little light to push in, but we've got some British forces, excuse me, the Germans are being a little, let me roll back. The British are light to push on the German force that is now actively trying to push into the AO here, though they are hugging the outside to try to avoid any avenues of fire that the British might have set up. But I also seen the British a little lax to push in from that angle. They're clearing out all these buildings, make sure they got them all, because they don't want to pull away and realize they left a few Germans alive to flank. And 6 EME, they're going to hug the northern side, potentially then to go into here, but this is still going to leave a lot of open areas here, and that time it's going to take means that this other German force is more than likely going to be wiped by then. So again, just a massive defeat in detail on the Germans because of a miscommunication of when assets should be moving in, or at least the tempo. Because there were some elements where I saw good communication. This group smoking that group for this other group, the Thunder Run, and they executed it perfectly. But it's just not going to help them here. So now we wait. We could see an upset still. I've seen plenty of upsets in OFCRA that have started this grim, but I think it's going to be too little too late at this point. Because usually those upsets involve the other force that's far behind still coming in the nick of time and assisting. So these three are going to be able to get on the flank here. The British are not going to, excuse me, the Germans are going to be quick enough to cover that aspect. And I think those three guys are going to be able to deliver a nasty blow to this German force. Never trust a player base to bring memes. I mean, I don't think I've gotten anything highlight-worthy out of this stream, too, you know, that we could put down on the channel. So it's, you know, with OFCRA, we'll either get like 5 or 6 highlights or none at all in a video. I find that kind of funny. So Germans are being very cautious here, but the British are, they've got room to be aggressive now. So I'm gonna just look at the numbers advantage here. Like, in this AO alone, and then you had all of these guys back here. For what, the 4 remaining over there? Jeez Louise. And Blue 4 Command is also pulling in. And you've got Skip. He's on the last legs of the trip. I hope he doesn't get friendly fired. That would be hilarious if he did. All right, you got some opening shots. Mr. White trying to engage. Sky online here. Looks like he took some hits in his leg. He's pulling back. Ooh, wow, I'm surprised that wasn't a headshot. The blood literally came from his face. I guess it slid off his helmet or something. Now you got the British running up. They're gonna... Oh, this is gonna be inappropriate. Bangy. Taking out Mr. White. A grenade going off, taking out Fleesh. Rick throwing a grenade back. Zixme trying to flank here. With the machine gun, he's gonna land a kill on Fury. He's gonna get Baggy. He's gonna go for Mike. Gets Mike sprayed down. Daedalus on Zix rear. That is what I'm talking about. This is why I love watching Zixme play, because he will make those proactive calls to do those flanks on his own, and he will single-handedly save his force. But now it's kind of a little too late. As I said earlier, they'll probably trade evenly, but now you've got the rest of these guys running up. NASA, Hippie, PHK, Goatland, 4 top players you see in OFCRA. Fleesh failing his wake-up check. PHK running up. There's Mancho, the head honcho of OFCRA, is now dead. PHK double tapping Fleesh. Daedalus getting picked off by Sixor coming around. And now it's just up to Sixme, who's getting engaged by NASA, gets hit, goes behind this tree. Cable sees him. He gets the kill on Cable. Zixme continuing, gets the headshot on NASA. 5-0 right now. Can Zixme solo the rest? I highly doubt it. Devour, thanks for the posture check. I was leaning in forward because this is exciting. I was just talking about how we're not going to have any highlights here, but I think Zixme has showed us some general badassery here that is worthy of a highlight, in my opinion. The question on my mind is, can he get more? Because there's going to be a lot more opportunities. Zix, buddy, you gotta get up, buddy. They're coming for you. He has to hear those gunshots. Did Sixor just get shot by a friendly? Yes, he did. PHK, he's shooting Sixor there. No! Bluck came behind Zixme and eliminated him, and that's that group destroyed. Jonathan's run up and driven his vehicle here. It's GG, guys. It's honestly GG. I don't mean to sound mean to the 6EME guys, but I mean, 4 of them versus this tidal wave here. We got another big force right there. It is 5v at least 2 dozen. And with everyone with ACOGs, it's a mess. All right, Jonathan, Blue 4 Command going for gold. What's he doing? Jonathan, no. Jonathan. Jonathan, no. Jonathan, what are you doing? I think Demavir hears what's going on. Takes a shot. Takes more shots. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I do agree. I said that earlier. I wish the German spawn point was a little closer so we could actually see some intercept plays, because this just turned into an attack defense. Because the only way the Germans would have gotten an intercept is if they rushed blindly and got lucky. But, yeah, that just happened. Let's see what he does with it. It says it's red, but that's the blue 4 ground commander. Let's go! What if he lands, picks up 2 of the 6 EME guys, and they just go crazy with the 1-3-4s and get at least 1 or 2 kills? That's what I want to see. That is what makes us worthy of still covering, is just seeing if there's going to be any hijinks with the stolen air asset. And then if they turn it into a missile. Because you're apparently allowed to do that in OFCRA compared to FNF, and I want to see it. This fucking mad lad. I wonder, is Clemens still alive in 6EME? Yes, so he does have the LR, so we can coordinate, and they will know that that's an air asset. So now they're going to use the Chinook to recon the 4 guys on the ground. So it's just, as long as you have the Chinook, then you can properly do recon. That's what I'm detecting here. Despo, not sure if he spotted those 4 guys. Oh, he might have. Switching to his binos here, looking around. Quick to the draw here. I think he thinks he thought he saw something. Oh, he didn't see Clemen right there, though. Clemen was right on top of him. He had to have seen Clemen. Yep, he's pulling back now. Totally saw Clemen there for a brief second. He's doing the smart thing, though. He's trying to find the rest of his team to warn them that the Germans are coming. Ooh. Just had a good firing angle there. Come on, Despo. Throws a grenade, little short. It was an RGO, not an RGN. RGOs are defensive grenades. RGNs are offensive grenades. RGOs are bigger, but the extra weight means you can throw them at a shorter range. RGNs are smaller, which means they have less explosive potential, but you can throw them farther. RGOs are meant to be thrown over a single HESCO if you're defending a base. RGNs are meant to be, like, chucked into a base. Hence why defensive and aggressive grenade. Or offensive, excuse me, not aggressive. So Despo trying to do a nice flank around here. Let's stop covering him, as we are down to a 4-on-4. Wait, I lied. 4-on-3. Woo, but we've got 1 dude knocked out.
Let's give him a warm welcome.
2 dudes knocked out. Oh, last man standing. No bueno. Fluffers is here to witness the carnage personally, trying to help Urzagul survive. Well, one of Urzagul's battle buddies just got finished off. Fluffers is doing his best to help, but looks like he's having some trouble looking over the grass here, but he's doing his best to spot. Gets a good grenade. Urzagul forced to bandage. Vex, get the double tap. He doesn't see him. Oh, balls. Yeah, Vex finally sees him, and that's the wipe. And it's, yeah, it's GG. Vex running up, double tapping the bodies. Guys, there's 1 man left. That wasn't him. Last man standing. No! Use the Chinook! He just broke it. Oh my god, he just fucking broke it. What are you gonna do, Jonathan? What are you gonna do? He's gonna just walk in on foot like a boss as the German forces come in. Oh, the last German. And the British are coming. And I think it just ran out of fuel, actually. That's the only reason it would be powering off right now. So he landed it because it was out of fuel. He's surrendering. I think the British spotted him. And they said, leave no survivors. Jonathan is dead. It's GG. Thank you so much for watching. Go operate operationally. Enjoy the rest of your day or night. Sorry I didn't do a prediction again this week. I will try to remember next time. Otherwise, cheers. And have a good one. We'll be back at 8 o'clock for some hunting down furry ops. You know, I'm actually glad I stayed. This, yeah. Yeah, that defines the AO perfectly. 23 survivors on me. And a perfect score. Oh, yeah. Yep, I'm glad we made it to the scoreboard. God damn.